All right, hey, what's up, guys? Coach Mack, Play Fast Football. All right, today I'm going to take a look at defensive goals and maybe factors for success, or kind of comparing the two and where my mind has changed a little bit on these things over the last 20 or 25 years in the coaching profession. Make sure you check out some of our partners, GameStrat, sideline replay system we use at Bishop Kenny High School and at the high school I was formerly at. GameStrat is the #1 choice for coaches looking for a highly reliable, highly affordable sideline replay system. Great customer service. Product is real easy to use. Anytime I've had a problem with it, one phone call, they get on the horn with you right away to help you fix your problem. So I would definitely check out GameStrat. Dome, which is the headwear company we use at Bishop Kenny High School and with Play Fast Football. If you're looking for custom hats, if you're looking for something that you can build your own hat, all right, your own design, they can be snapback, they can be Velcro, they can be fitted, you can put embroidery on them, you can put your own logo on there, you can change the colors, you can change the style of the hat. If you're into completely custom, then you have to check out Dome. Baker Sporting Goods company we use for our sideline gear, our coaches gear, our spirit packs, players gear, our uniforms are distributed from them. Our fan store is through them. A lot of the stuff we do at the school is through them. So if you're looking for that one-stop shop to get all of your stuff in one convenient location, make sure you check out Baker Sporting Goods. JustPlay, which is the software we use as our playbook, and a lot of our presentations and our team meetings are used through JustPlay. It's a unique teaching tool where you can quiz your players on game plans, playbooks. You can use videos, you can use diagrams. It's really easy to use, and it's an interesting way to engage your players and find out a little bit more about their understanding of what you're trying to do with your playbook and your game plans. And then Difference USA, which is the ultimate striking machine. You get thousands of reps without needing a partner. You can set them right up in your weight room. That's where we have them here at Bishop Kenny. We use them in our weight room in the off season. You could set them up on the football field in season. It's perfect for striking development, elbows in, thumbs up, where your eyes should be, what you should be doing with your hips. Coils come in different compressions that you can change, so it makes it tougher to lev the pad in. So to me, it's the perfect training tool. Easy to use, easy to set up, and you get a bunch of reps without needing a partner. So check out Difference USA. So throughout if you're an older school guy like me, you know, at 50 years old now, I've been doing this for 25 years, been playing football for almost 45 years of my life, either playing, coaching, or involved in the game of football. In the old days, what I would consider the old days, you always had these goal boards set up, right? And you had your offensive goal boards and you had your defensive goal boards, and usually they would look something like this. All right, so they would look like X amount of points or less, right? And that's changed over the years. It used to be 13 points or less, 14 points or less. Well, I think one of the things we found out is with possessions changing and the way tempo has kind of taken over in the last 15, 20 years or 10 years, however you want to look at it, when teams are getting more possessions, there's a chance you're going to give up more points per game. So if your offense is playing in that style and creating more possessions for the other team, maybe that number has to change. But right now, let's just say it's at 17 points or less, all right? Let's just say explosive plays we're talking about, and we want no 15-plus runs, no 25-plus passes. Now, that can be different for every school. That goal, all right, can change for every school. It could be no 10-plus runs. It could be no 20-plus passes. All right, that is all subjective to each school and the things that they feel they need to accomplish to be successful. All right, create 2 turnovers a game. There's places where the goal board might say create 3 turnovers a game. All right, be +2 in the turnover ratio, whatever it may be. When you're talking about one side of the ball or the other, if I'm talking about defense, then I want to say we want to create X amount of turnovers. All right, then it's the offense's job to not turn the ball over. All right, 70% on third down efficiency. Again, that number is subjective, and it could change depending on where you're at, all right? Or every coach may have a different version of what they are looking at on third downs. Again, I've talked about this several times in the past, okay? One of the things we talk about all the time is our first down effectiveness, all right, is highly correlated to our third down efficiency. So if we're better on first down, we'll get better on third down. But third down is usually in the football defensive goal world or in the goal world. Third down on offense and defense is usually the one that everybody measures. Do we get off the field? Do we not get off the field? But I think if you dove deeper into that, first down and second down success has a lot to do with third down success, okay? 275 yards or less. Maybe that number is high or low for where you are. All right, to me, it's about a median number where I've looked at games that we've played and when we've had success. And in high school football for me, with the defenses that we have, and, you know, that can change depending on where you're at. It could change the conference you play in. That could change. It could be, you could make those individual rushing and passing numbers. And again, they're all subjective to what you think you need to accomplish to have success. All right, no red zone touchdowns. All right, so if every time the other team got in a red zone, if we could get off the field or hold them to field goals, obviously that's going to increase our chances of being successful, right? And then win the fourth quarter, right? One that I stole from Alabama. Alabama's big fourth quarter, about everything they do in the fourth quarter. Again, it's very subjective. The game might be over in the fourth quarter. It could be a running clock in the fourth quarter. All right, if you're down 30 points in the fourth quarter, then winning the fourth quarter may be irrelevant, but that's always something that you can strive for. But my point today is, where I've changed my mind is the things that I have in blue for me, I now consider those to be factors for success. I don't really consider those goals anymore. All right, and the reason being is when I look at defensive football as now a head coach with 23 years experience and an assistant coach for 2 or 3 years, and now my first year back as a defensive coordinator and just being an assistant coach and in the last 22 years, I kind of look at things differently now. Okay, to me, my number one goal, all right, or the 3 things that I think about on defense is I need to gain possession without giving up points. That's my first thought all the time. How can I gain possession of the ball for my team without giving up points? Okay, I need to create scoring opportunities. So this year we scored 4 touchdowns on defense. So we can create those opportunities either by us scoring, or we can make it a field position game where we are creating field position for our offense, or we are creating turnovers for our offense to give them better opportunities to score. Okay? And then the last one is win. And obviously the number one goal. All the other things that you are doing in your program on offense or defense, they're really irrelevant to winning the game. All right? So what I look at now, and the way I've kind of changed my mindset is, I look at these as factors for success, or maybe even some of these become philosophical deals, right? So if you say you're going to give up no 15-plus runs, no 25-plus passes, well, maybe that's a philosophical deal of why we play 3 high. Maybe playing another player at the 3rd level who's a hybrid linebacker safety that puts more speed on the field, or maybe playing nickel defense as your base defense, 4-2-5, 3-3-5, whatever it may be. Maybe that personnel group helps limit explosive plays. Maybe how you play defense helps try to keep the ball inside and front, right? So some of those things could be philosophical deals. Some of those things could be how you practice. So creating two turnovers to me has a lot to do with how you practice. What are you doing in practice to create turnovers? How are you practicing creating turnovers? Are you doing drills to emphasize creating turnovers, right? 3rd down percentage and let's say red zones. So 3rd down and red zones. Maybe that is a systematic approach to how you practice. So maybe if you want to get better in 3rd downs, you've got to practice more 3rd down scenarios. Maybe you need to look at the 3rd down scenarios that you're struggling with and come up with a better plan and a better practice plan to address those 3rd down scenarios. Maybe your red zone defense needs to change with how you practice. Maybe you need to approach it in a different manner. Maybe you need to do more good on good in the red zone. Maybe you need to do more your scheme versus your offensive scheme in the red zone and try and have success there first before you get into individual game plan things. Then, if you have success against your own system, now maybe you can start to game plan and figure out where you need to be in your game plans with what is effective when you're practicing good on good or best on best in your own practice structures, right? So those things might be more practice issues. 4th quarter might be a mentality deal. That might be an off-season training deal. That might be an off-season lifting deal with how we preach to our kids about we're going to win in the 4th quarter. So the things that maybe used to be goals, right? So when I first became a head coach, that was one of the first things I did. Let's set up goal boards in meeting rooms or in the locker room. We got an offensive goal board. We got a defensive goal board, special teams goal board, right? It's what you did. It's what everybody kind of talked about. It was things that you looked at clinics and you know, when you went to different places to talk to people, you discussed goals. And I've kind of changed my mindset on that because I really think at the end of the day, these are the things I should be focusing on defense. I got to gain possession without giving up points. A lot of these things may be factors of success for me gaining possession without giving up points. All right, but I think that should be where we focus our goal on defense. Let's get our kids to focus on a greater team accomplishment. All right, how is our role on defense? All right, how is that going to be effective for the overall goal of winning football games, right? That's always going to be the number one goal for any program. You got to win games. And it's kind of like golf in a way when I look at it, like, you know, in golf, you've got to put a number on a scorecard. It doesn't matter whether you scull it, flush it, hit it to 10 feet and 2-putt, all right, hit it to 30 feet and 2-putt, hit a par 5 in 2-putt for birdie, hit a par 5 in 3 and make a 40-foot putt for birdie. If you write a 4 down on the card, there are no pictures that go on the card. All All right, so that's one of the ways that we have to approach it. When we win games, yes, we have to go back as a staff and break down our individual performance, and we need to look at where we're having success, not having success, right? Can't count on winning every game 50-49. Can't count on your offense bailing you out every game. But if you do win 50-49, then the win was the number one goal, and you accomplished that. Okay, if you feel like your side of the ball wasn't as big a part of the win, and you need to get better on your side of the ball, well, that's everybody's looking at that every week. How can we get better every week? But at the end of the day, let's win, right? So that's always going to be number one. On defense, we win by gaining possession without giving up points. Which of these things do we need to accomplish to help us with that, or all of them help us with that? And let's create scoring opportunities, all right? So let's make it a game of field position. Let's give the offense the ball in better field position, right? So if we are gaining possession back and we're not giving up points, but the other team is constantly driving the ball down the field, and we're doing a good job of bend, don't break, and we're getting them off the field, but we're giving our offense the ball in adverse situations, well, then we're not accomplishing that goal of creating scoring opportunities. So we want to talk about field position. We want to talk about getting off the field and making teams give us the ball back. We want to talk about creating scoring opportunities, turnovers. We want to talk about momentum. All right, big stops, sudden change stops, or things that can swing the momentum into our favor. All right, so we've got to gain possession back without giving up points. We've got to create scoring opportunities, and we've got to win games. That should really be, to me, all right, in the last 2 or 3 years, one of the things that I've looked at, that should really be the focus. That's what we're trying to do. All right, how we get there and the things we need to do to get there, philosophically, how we practice, or the schemes we need to use to get there, those things are going to constantly be in flux and are going to constantly be changing, especially at the high school level when your personnel's changing. All right. And maybe you're more conducive to 4 down one year, but you got to be 3 down the next year. Maybe you're 1 high one year, but you need to be middle of the field open, or 2 high next year. That's up to every individual coach and coordinator with how that scheme fits the overall style of how you want to play to win games, right? But to me, these have now become the goals. Make them very simple, all right? They're very simple to identify, and they're very simple for us to monitor to say, are we doing those things, yes or no? All right? These are kind of factors for success, or things that we need to do, things that we need to work on, things that we need to preach in practice that can help us reach our goals. So I no longer look at these, although I did for years, I no longer look at these as kind of goals. I don't have a goal board at Bishop Kenny on defense. Yes, we give out helmet stickers and for certain things, and we give out awards for certain things, but there is nowhere in Bishop Kenny where I have a defensive goal board that has these things listed. All right, when I talk to our guys, about, hey, we got to get the ball back without giving up points, okay? We've got to create scoring opportunities. We got to win games. So we had several games this year where we gave up, all right? We lost a bunch of these things, quote-unquote, factors for success, but yet we did these things really well, okay? So we had some games where we gave up 250 yards rushing and over 350 yards total, but we only gave up 10 points. So we were able to play bend, don't break. We were able to make key stops. We were able to get some key turnovers. So at the end of the day, we gave up 10 points. We got our offense the ball back in positions to create scoring opportunities for them. We created some scoring opportunities ourselves in some of those games. And at the end of the day, we won the game. And we didn't play, to me, if you were looking at a W or an L like the old-fashioned way, or a check or an X, we had games where maybe 6 of these were X's and not checks, but yet the win was what we did, and all 3 of these things were created, even though some of the factors for success weren't there. All right, so there's so many different moving parts in the game of football that a lot of these things that you're trying to pinpoint as maybe your goals on offense or defense, they don't always equate to what the be-all, end-all goal is, right? So for us on defense, it's get off the field without giving up points. It doesn't matter how. It doesn't matter if it's penalties by the offense. It doesn't matter if they can't handle snaps. It doesn't matter if they drive the length of the field and you get a turnover. The number one goal is you got off the field and you didn't give up points. That should be what you're striving for every defensive series. The next thing is, now let's try and create scoring opportunities. Maybe we can get them ourselves like we did 4 times this year. All right, maybe we can turn these defensive interceptions, fumbles, whatever, into our own touchdowns. Maybe we can flip the field on the other team and create field position. All right, maybe we can give our special teams unit the field position to effectively go after a punt or set up a punt return, whatever it may be, because we've gained field position momentum and now we've got the other team kind of on their heels special teams wise, and we've created an advantageous situation for our special teams. Okay, so just a thought in some of the things I've been looking at in the offseason, all right, kind of changing the mindset a little bit of what our real tangible goals are, all right? Those three things on defense are the things we want to do. These are now falling under what I think are factors of success, all right? Things that we need to do to have success. And then let's look at these things that are factors for success philosophically, practice schedule-wise, practice plan-wise, and let's figure out how we can practice better to get to that place, right? So, again, it's not something that has to be done in order to play good football. It's not something, there were years where we didn't have goal boards. We just said, hey, let's try and go out and win games, and let's do these things that we think win games. There were years where we studied the analytics inside and out of what we need to do to win more games. Why are we losing games? Okay, and we went into a deep dive on that. And again, in 20-something years of coaching and doing this, on one side of the ball, on defense, I find that if we can just focus, if I myself as coordinator, if I can just focus on these three goals right here, all right, what can I do on my side of the ball to get the ball back for the offense without scoring points, all right, or giving up points, I'm sorry. How can I create scoring opportunities either with our unit, our offensive unit, or our special teams unit? What can we do to create scoring opportunities, and can we win the game? All right, that's it. That's the end of it. If I can put those three things first and figure out everything else around that, all my other superlatives, all my other factors for success, I could list 15 of them. And I could break down our numbers analytically, and I can look and say, all right, guys, these are the things I think we need to do to have success. Well, when you do that, one of the things you'll find is there's going to be a bunch of games you win where none of those are checked off. And then there's going to be some games you lose where maybe all of them are checked off. Okay, so those are factors for success, but they're really not the be-all, end-all goal. If I hit 9 of my 10, what used to be old school goals, if I hit 9 of my 10 goals, and they're all checked and there's one X, but we lose the game, okay, yeah, I go back and, all right, on defense, we hit 9 of our 10 goals, all right, we played well here, we didn't give up explosives, held the offense to this rushing, we held the offense to this passing. We didn't win the game as a team, okay, so change the mindset a little bit. Take a look at what you're identifying as goals. I'm not saying don't use goals. I'm not saying don't use goal boards. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is maybe you should kind of change your thought process a little bit and look at the things that are really, truly the goals, and maybe the other things are just factors for success, or, you know, things that need to be met in order for you to achieve the overall goal, right? So if we can meet these things, I think we can achieve our three goals. And number one, most important, I think we can achieve the bottom one. All right, so hopefully this helps you guys out. Maybe think about something a little bit different. Maybe try something different. Maybe take a different approach with your unit in the spring season or early in next season. Maybe in the off season, take a little bit of a different approach about how you speak to your team or how you're talking to your unit on your side of the ball. All right, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you know every time. So you become a subscriber to Play Fast Football. You hit the notification button, you ring the bell. You know every time we put a new video out, every time we go on YouTube Live. I was on YouTube Live last week, so when your notifications are on, you'll get, all right, that pop-up that we put something new out there. So every time new content comes out, you'll know all the time. All right, make sure you leave a comment. I try to get back with every comment that is left on there that I can see on my side. I love interacting with fans that have been watching the site for a while. And again, I learn as much as you do when you leave comments. There's been people that have given me some ideas that are maybe better for me, a different way of doing things than maybe I was doing them in the past. Thumbs up, thumbs down if you like or don't like the content, so I can understand. Maybe it's how we present it. Maybe we need to do it in a different manner. All right, what you like, what you don't like. Again, interacting. You being out there as the audience is what makes the channel go, so I always try and keep in touch with my audience. All right, if anybody is in Orlando this week, I am not speaking at the Nike Clinic, but I will be in attendance. So if any of you are around and you're at the Nike Coach of the Year Clinic in Orlando, look me up. I'll be there with our staff, Bishop Kenny. There'll be about 6 or 7 of us there. Look me up. I'd love to meet up with you guys. I always like meeting up and talking some football and just talking about life in general with people who have been watching the channel, because it's you guys that make us successful. All right, so I appreciate everything you do for me, everything you do for Play Fast Football. Remember, you won't play well until you play fast, and I will see you guys next time.